Hello and welcome to the Talk Tonight podcast. If you've been enjoying these podcasts, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment of a band that you'd like us to discuss next. And today, we're going to talk about the Bloody Dma'S. So, Harry, you're a big fan of the Dma'S.
Yeah. I say my love has grown recently. Like, I don't know what it is. I think, I just don't know. Just their tunes that hit, don't they?
They have some very good songs. They do indeed. As someone who was there from the start,
here we go.
not to burst or anything. I mean, I saw them a few years ago. Before this hype of them being the most underrated band in the world, and mainly Oasis absolutely licking them out. Before that,
yeah,
I was there.
You were there.
Like, why do you think they have got so big?
I think purely because they remind people of what, like, they kind of have a similar sound to Oasis, don't they? Really, like
a little bit, yeah.
And I think they kind of remind people of what Oasis were like, and I think that's why they've hit it off, so to speak. And I feel like the fact they're from Australia as well has helped them, because
makes them a bit different.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you get all these bands, those type bands from Manchester and that, and that's all fine, and obviously, but when one comes from Australia where that music might not specifically be their main genre kind of thing, it's quite good that they've took to it and kind of like been a bit different about it. And I feel like they've also have tunes that people can relate to, you know?
Yeah. So obviously they've been around 8 years. I think they formed in 2012.
Yeah, I've got that
They're
down.
only really getting big now.
Mm.
I mean, over the past few years, you've heard a lot about them, but I think with the release of this new album, The Glow, is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah, Glow, yeah.
I feel like this is going to be their big album, their breakout. Because so far they've been a support act, essentially, supporting Cortinas, supporting Liam Gallagher, supporting the Kooks. I feel like this is finally going to be like their breakout to where bands like the Kooks are going to be supporting them. Because let's be honest, Kooks aren't that good.
No, they're not. But we won't go there.
Well, I feel like I hate to bring them up. I hate it.
Go on then.
But if you look at what the Dma'S have done within 3 albums, admittedly their sound isn't changing. But they're writing much better songs than Catfish and the Boatmen did in 3 albums.
Yeah,
and I hate to go back to them, but if you look at what the Dma'S will have accomplished over 3 albums, compared to Catfish, it's a big contrast. And I just feel like, the Australia thing does help, coming from down under. So obviously it does help, because people listening to them like, oh, I'm edgy, I'm listening to this Australian band, you might not have heard of them. God damn it, everyone's heard of them now. Come on.
Come on now, pipe down.
But on top of that, they do write good songs.
Yeah,
can't be denied.
No, it can't. I mean, like, you touched on, like, their songs sound a bit different. Like, I think they do. I think each one of their songs is different. Like, when you compare, like, Hill's End, and then For Now, it's like they are quite different albums. And then, like, obviously, from what we've heard from the singles from The Glow, like, that's going to be really different. Because also they've gone all, like, I don't know, keyboard, synth bass, haven't they, as well?
I feel like
what you call it.
Dma'S have got, like, their sound. So you listen to a song, and it's, like, that Dma'S sound. You recognise it's them.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit different to what all the other generic indie bands are doing. I think that's why they have taken off, you could say. But on top of that, the lead singer, what's he called? Tommy.
Tommy, yeah. Yeah.
He's got a beautiful voice.
No, he has. He really has. Like that Believe cover they did. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Believe by Chef, incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I feel like that's what's made. I feel that has made them got a bit bigger as well. Like that definitely helped them.
Yeah. Fun fact: Believe by Cher was top of charts when I was born.
Oh, amazing! That is.
But
that's nothing to be sniffed at, is it? You know, that is.
Yeah, it's a big tune, big tune.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I mean, other bands have done covers there. Loads of other bands have done covers. Every band does covers.
Yeah.
So why is the Believe cover by DMA so popular?
I don't know. I think really it's because of his voice. I think that does help a lot. Like he's got a belting of a voice, hasn't he? And I think that I don't know. It's just weird. It's got like it just suits them, doesn't it? And I don't feel like it'd have the same effect if any other band covered that song, but the way they did.
Yeah, I mein they've slowed it down, turned it into a beautiful acoustic number. I get what you mean. I mean, I hate to go back to him. No, I'm only joking. But so, where do you see DMA's going? Next 10 years.
Next 10 years. I just think they're only going to get bigger. I mean, they got this tour in October, which the venues are quite big. Like they're playing Ali Pali, which is quite a big venue. It's probably one of the biggest in London, and it's all standing. So for them to get that already is quite it's really an amazing achievement as well. I know bands don't play there for a while, you know.
Yeah. Playing the massive Burnus Arena in Hull.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Good man. He'll be there. Indie God. Oh.
But you've been there from the start, so it's not like good.
Yeah, it's fine. Privilege, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, people really just go to these gigs in the hope that I'm going to be there, but, you know, I can't help that.
Meet and greet outside the merch stand and all that.
Yeah, well, that's what people are asking for. They want the merch.
That's what the people want.
Tonight podcast merch.
Well, you know,
coming
soon. Oh, shameless plug.
So DMAs. I don't want to get off topic.
No.
Let's talk about some fun facts about DMAs. Let's talk about their influences. They say they've got like a country rock sort of influence. You know, Neil Young. I was a Neil Young stan for a short while.
Yeah.
And that isn't really portrayed in their songs. So I'm not really. When I listen to them, I think they've been influenced by bands like Oasis and all these Manchester-like bands, but apparently not. So their sound is quite unique in a sense because they've got all these different influences, along with a belly voice, some great lyrics. I don't think that can be denied either. I feel like some of the lyrics in Delete, especially, it's one of my favourite songs of theirs. Emily White.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really sure where their influences do actually lie when I listen to them, that is.
Yeah. I know it's a weird one, isn't it? Like, yeah, like you can obviously tell, like they do have that Oasis-y sound, but like you said, they might not actually be influenced by them. So yeah, it's weird, but it's good that they've created their own sound. They've got their own formula, haven't they? And I feel that's quite important, you know.
Totally agree. I mean, hopefully, with this new album coming out, it is changing up their sound a bit, and hopefully it does carry on being as good as the other ones because they are a very talented three-piece.
They are, yeah. They are talented musicians, aren't they?
Hopefully, with them, they are getting very big right now. Hopefully, this fame doesn't go to their heads and start just churning out tunes just for the sake of it.
No.
One band,
exactly.
which is getting relatively big, released a new song this week, Fontaine's DC.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
I quite like it, but yeah.
Not a fan. I think it's painfully average.
That's fair, isn't it? Like, it's what music's about, isn't it? So it's an opinion game, but I quite rate it. I generally quite like them as a band. Like, I think they're quite.
Yeah, I mean,
quite good.
I like their stuff. Liberty Bell. The Lots, two of my favourite songs at the moment.
Yeah.
But this new song, I can't actually even remember what it's called.
I'm
just not a big fan of it.
Something Death, I think, or Death something.
Hero's Death, yeah.
That's it, yeah, that's it.
And it just don't... I don't really know, but again, another band getting big who aren't British, well, aren't English. Are Fontaine's DC British? I don't know.
They're Irish, aren't they?
They're from Ireland.
Ireland?
Yeah. So, we've got Fontaine's, we've got Dma'S. Neither of them are traditional indie bands.
No,
Last year we had Idols.
Yeah,
is the music scene changing away from that traditional indie?
Yeah, I think it is. I feel like it's become a much more widened genre. Like, I don't think it's going to consist of, like, well, it will, but, like, the traditional indie sound. I think, like, bands are changing it up. Well, some bands are. But,
I feel like bands are having to change because there's so many doing the same thing. Cortinas, because they're one of the first, get away with it. Because they've been big now for over 10 years. Probably longer. I don't know the first. I can't remember off the top of my head. But they've been big for a long while. So their sound, which has inspired so many bands, is now old.
Yeah, so I feel like people, people look for. I feel like people look for more now. Like as a keen music person, I appreciate change and effort and that. I feel like that's
moved
very
away
important.
from that classic 4-piece guitar music.
Yeah.
You now have to have all the synths, all the orchestras.
And
that's just because of all the tools now available with all the technology changes. I mean, back in the day when Arctic Monkeys first released, whatever people say, they didn't have all this technology.
No.
Now they Cortinas, and now we've come into this era of like the 1975 of samples, of synths, of technology trying to influence the music, and I feel like that's helped bands like Dma'S who have found this new sort of path, and they've just spiraled off on their own, and they're making it.
Yeah, I think it just gives bands like a different, like you said, path to go down. Like instead of like I appreciate it's hard to change it up when it is just predominantly guitar music. Like I get that is hard. So I feel like having all this stuff available really helps you progress and better yourself as a band and musicians generally. Like I feel like that's important.
It's really hard for a band now to just be a typical 4-piece writing guitar music, to do something that hasn't been done. Because everything's been done at this point.
Yeah.
And that's why bands such as the Writons, is that how you pronounce it? The Writons, from Sheffield, England. Like, bands like that are boring to me. Because it's been done.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just a tribute act.
Jesus Christ.
And that's why.
No, I do get your point, but I feel like it's good when you're younger. Like back when I was a wee lad, like Cortinas and Arctic Monkeys are like St. Jude or whatever people say I am, were two banging albums. Like they still are, of course, but like I liked it because it was just predominantly guitar music. But as I got older, I appreciate like the music change that the bands have done. Like,
I get
like
that.
Tranquility is so different, obviously, and I'm like, some people really like it, some people hate it. I like it. I think it's probably one of their best albums. So yeah,
but it just shows how bands are going to evolve.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, at this point, Arctic Monkeys could release, an album of them just shouting at each other, and it'd sell because they're so big. But if we use upcoming bands, I feel like they are having to evolve. But some like DMAs have, and they've created this whole sort of new sound. And I feel like bands are being influenced by them now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
bands like Easy Life. I feel like they've been influenced. There's a band you may have heard of. I'm not a huge fan. The Lathams.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah,
I feel like they're trying to, pave their own way. But again, if the initial talent isn't there, a beautiful voice, like in DMAs, or a brilliant message, like Fontaine's, you're going to struggle. You are going to struggle.
Yeah, I feel like most bands have a specific theme with their songwriting, don't they? Like Oasis was all very like
sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, like in their early days it was, and then like when it got to like when they were getting older, it turned to like don't want to say religiously, but like most of their songs were based on like God and heaven and all that.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's like a theme, isn't there, when it comes to certain bands' songwriting. Yeah, I feel like that's important as well. Like Catfish have their own theme, their own formula. Like they have like the like
they have the three chords.
The fan smoking out a window. Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
They've got their formula imprinted heavily in their minds, and they're just never going to change.
No, I don't think they will. No, like I say, which is a shame because there is potential there, but it's just I feel like
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely is, but I just can't see it. So my last question to you, Harry: what's your favourite song?
I really
by
like
DMAs, of course.
Yeah, I really like The End.
That's a good song. Good song.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, or For Now, like the opener, or like Lay Down is a banger, isn't it? It's it's a proper
proper
live. It's a proper live tune, isn't it? It's
one that you can get behind. Get in the mosh pit.
It's the one where the flares come out, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, not for me.
No, not for me.
We don't, endorse the use of flares at gigs.
No. Outdoor fine. Indoors, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So for me, my favourite song at the moment is Emily White.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tune.
Silver. It's a cracking song.
So yeah.
And I look forward to this new album.
Yeah, same. Like, it'll be really, really good. Intrigued to see like if the other songs match like the same kind of vibe as the singles.
I'm sure it'll be great. Great. So this has been Talk Tonight podcast on DMAs. If you've enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment of who you want us to do next. Obviously, we've done Arctic Monkeys. We've had Adam on to talk about Fleetwood Mac. We've talked about mental health, and we've had the book club on. We've got a lot of exciting content coming up, so make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Spotify, Instagram, Talk Tonight Podcast, Twitter, Talk Tonight Pod C, Facebook, Talk Tonight Podcast. And thanks for watching. Cheers.
Cheers.